regardless. Up next, we actually had our main event. So 4-on-3 handicap match, same exact main event from SmackDown. Not really a whole lot to talk about here. I will say the entrance order, though, because I do have that written down, and it might be important somehow, some way. Cena came out first for the babyface team because he did like a corny little promo with Renee backstage talking about the ladder match, but there was literally no substance to it, so I'm just going to skip right over it. His music hits during the interview, and he literally runs out from the backstage interview area with Renee to the top of the ramp and then says on camera, "That was a long run." And then he immediately starts shilling his towel, which I figured was worth talking about because it's nothing new. And then, again, I had the entrance order written down because once he came out, everyone else started just coming out one after another relatively quickly. So it was Cena, then Sheamus, then Reigns for the babyface team. For the heel team, it was Wyatt, Cesaro, Del Rio, and then Orton actually came out last. But to me, what's important is that the first guy to come out for both teams, Cena came out for the babyfaces. The first guy to come out for the heel team was Bray Wyatt, though.
Yes, Bray Wyatt leading the charge. Again, still with his old theme intact, which put the biggest smiles on Ashton and my face. And yeah, so, he's leading the charge with the heels. They all come out. I felt like you had the perfect review for this match personally, that it was almost a shot-by-shot replica of their SmackDown match. The only difference being is that when Roman Reigns got the hot tag, he didn't immediately ground the heel opposition. They still had a little bit of fight left in them.
Right.
And the white knight of this match actually turned out to be Sheamus because the match completely broke down. Cena nailed not one, but two AAs. He got Del Rio, and then who else did he get?
Cesaro.
He got Orton because Cesaro took him out.
Oh, that's right, the Swiss death.
Which was epic.
Yes.
But then Cesaro turns around and eats a bro kick.
And loses. Yeah. The one thing I will say, though, the hilarious thing to me, this match started, I don't remember exactly when. It was between 10:50 and 10:55. And almost immediately, I have written down here very specifically, we had a commercial at 10:55 p.m. How pathetic. Like, I did the math tonight, and the WWE, over a 3-hour show, has nearly 50 minutes worth of advertising. Like, oh, whatever. You know what? I'm not supposed to be complaining about this because they need to pay their bills and everything, and apparently they're desperate for money now because, losses and Vince McMahon setting expectations too high, so that now they need to cut down on costs. But regardless, it just seems a little bit superfluous to have almost an hour worth of advertising over a 3-hour program. Like, if a third of your programming is advertising, we might have a problem here.
But Ashton, how are you going to know not to smoke interrupting your huge main event between guys that you actually care about in a world title match this Sunday? I mean, doesn't that take precedence?
No.
Exactly. Anyway, so yeah, they all do their thing. It gets crazy and just totally breaks down with all the finishes. But then after the match, it looks like the babyfaces are going to celebrate. But then we get a new challenger that emerges.
Kane. The pyro explodes and Kane walks out and he destroys all three babyfaces. I don't think he actually attacked any heels. And Triple H comes out and announces that you're looking at the 8th participant in the Money in the Bank WWE World Heavyweight Championship ladder match.
Yep, Kane gets a spot. He's kind of reveling in his success, but it doesn't last long because he eats a spear from the mastodon, Roman Reigns. And then he's just kind of staring back at Triple H and Randy Orton, puts his fist out because that's the symbol of excellence. And then he mouths the words that me and Ashton, Ashton totally capitalized on, and then I built upon it. Who's next? Does that sound familiar?
Gold who?
Yeah. Oh, don't you mean Ryberg? Because clearly he's more in line with Goldberg than Roman Reigns.
Except the fact that Ryback actually has natural charisma and speaking ability and can put together a coherent sentence.
Exactly. When you really think about it, and I love Roman Reigns, so this isn't trying to be overly critical, but yeah, he really is more in line with Goldberg. I mean, the spear legitimately is his finisher.
Right.
He just said who's next tonight, and nobody bothered to hark on that, at least, to my knowledge, but then again, the internet's a wonderful place.
He speaks in sound bites and catchphrases.
Exactly, yeah. And he's totally dominant. He may not have had a ridiculous undefeated streak, but technically, as a part of a three-man unit, yeah, they were undefeated for quite a while. And even when they did lose, they were still dominant. And even when Roman Reigns loses, he's still dominant. So
I actually found out the other day that if you look at win-loss records, that Seth Rollins actually has the best win-loss record out of the 3 Shield guys this year.
Wow.
So they have actually been protecting him, so it almost makes too much sense that the Evolution would pick him up, or that, the Authority would pick him up more specifically.
Right. So yeah, Roman Reigns closes the show dominant. He said on Raw, backstage pass apparently that, the addition of Kane, that means nothing to him, just like all the other competitors in the world title ladder match mean nothing to him, because nothing's going to get in his way from walking out the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. And Roman, I rarely bet against you. I don't know if I'm going to now, but if anybody was going to win that championship, I'm definitely keeping a close eye on you, brother.
So, with Kane being added, I don't want to say it, but I'm not superstitious, so I'm going to say it anyway. I think The Miz is going to come back and get added to the other ladder match.
I could very easily see that happening. I've been waiting for him to return for weeks now. Not in an excited way, mind you, just knowing that I read that the
More
Marine...
like in an anticipatory way.
Exactly. Just knowing, hey, the Marine 4 wrapped up. My guess for what he was going to do, I realize now, was absolutely stupid. So I could see him. In fact, really, that's how he returned last time from filming a movie, Ashton. That's the irony of this whole thing.
That's not irony, my friend. That's a coincidence.
Well, either way, it is weird. And I could very easily see it happening again for this traditional Money in the Bank ladder match. And you may have just screwed it all up for the rest of us. So way to go, Ashton.
I'm not superstitious. I believe it was going to happen before I said it was going to happen.
Well, now you verbalized it, though, so now it's in the air. It's in the air!
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It was going to happen anyway.
We'll see. Hopefully not, but, since this one got 8, I could definitely see this other one being rounded out.
Yep. Yeah, like we were talking about Big E earlier. I'm surprised that he wasn't in the match, but I mean, if anyone's getting added, we know it's going to be The Miz. So regardless,
dude, I would pop so big if it was Bo Dallas, though.
Oh my God, yes. But regardless, yeah, let's move on, because that was actually the end of Raw. Roman Reigns standing tall with the symbol of excellence held out towards Triple H and Randy Orton. So let's get into our next segment.
High spots and low shots.
Nice.
And I gotta tell ya, my low shot is Stephanie McMahon.
Nice. Well, I mean, she did get to fire somebody, but I totally see where you're going with this.
Yeah, no, she got to fire somebody, but guess what? That fired person got to go out on their terms, with their dignity and respect gained. And to me, that's a loss in Stephanie's book, because she always likes to come out the winner. She always likes to come out the strongest. And in that case, even though she got the win by all technical accounts, in terms of fan support and everything else, she dead last. Dead last. So yeah, Stephanie is my low shot.
My low shot is commentary, for reasons already beknownst to everybody.
There you go. Enough said. I'm not even going to belabor that point. My high spot is Bo Dallas.
Beautiful.
9-0, excuse me, gotta correct myself there, in singles competition. The crowd is actually connecting with him, which really shouldn't be cause for celebration, because he is supposed to be a heel. But you know what? People are reacting. I'd rather people react this way to Bo Dallas than not react to him at all, like I originally feared.
Right.
So I will take this. And you know what? We've been talking about an 8th competitor. I say screw the Miz. I say it's time to throw those thumbs up in a middle position and Bo leave. I want Bo Dallas to be the 8th man. That's the stake I'm putting out there right now. So Bo Dallas is my high spot.
My high spot is Big E, because he won in a squash match and was the most entertaining thing going on tonight.
They need to start having him cut promos consistently, I think, in this fashion. My favorite promo was when he was all in, I'm going to give it to him, and then you clearly loved what he did. And again, you were in hysterics, and again, it may have been just because you were thinking back Tropic Thunder in tandem with this, but still, it elicited a response from you that was very strong. So that says something. They need to give him a mic more often, in my opinion. This way he can actually rebuild an organic relationship with the crowd through his personality, which I think will have more longevity than what he's been doing. So, Completely agree.
Absolutely. All right, dude. What's next?
Raw request. And I will say my Raw request. Oh, how can I do this? You know what? Keep the focus on Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose specifically. I don't want Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns to break off and do their own thing in a feud until at least, I'd say, after SummerSlam. So that would be September. So probably a pay-per-view around there. I feel like Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins has a lot of mileage considering their history and considering how personal this is. And I just want to see these two potentially have feud of the year in WWE because I don't know, dude. I have a lot of thinking to do about this traditional Money in the Bank ladder match. And right now, as this podcast comes to a close, I'm saying that I think Dean Ambrose is the favorite. So I really want to see him go all out in this feud with Rollins.
Absolutely. My Raw request has a lot to do with my biggest complaint of the night. Show some women some respect, commentary, please. I mean, I understand the gawking. Sometimes it's just a natural male instinct. I've been there. I've done that. But verbally, you get paid to make people seem more important than they really are. And physically, you're doing the exact opposite by staring. And again, verbally, you're also doing the exact opposite by kind of making them seem lesser and like objects. So regardless, commentary, seriously, step it up during Divas matches.
And I completely agree with you on all counts. Look, I'm not trying to claim to be a saint by any means. We all
exactly, yeah, and I really want to get that point across because I don't want to come off as a hypocrite here, acting like I'm on my high horse saying the commentary is like chauvinist pigs and I've never done anything like that in my life. I get it, but when it's your job to treat the people in the ring with the utmost respect and to make it seem like they are a bigger deal than they really are, then you need to do your job and stop acting like a bunch of freaking horny 13-year-old guys.
Exactly. I feel like you should always be self-conscious of that behavior, regardless. I myself am really personally working on it, but I think especially when you're in a workplace forum,
right,
that responsibility increases exponentially so. And, really aside from that, but still the same point all around, the women have been stepping up lately.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta give credit. We've been talking about bad commentary, Ashton. Let's talk about good commentary. NXT commentary, I felt like treated Natalya and Charlotte during their match with the utmost respect.
Well, I mean, think about who it was, though. It was Tom Phillips, Byron Saxton, William Regal. It was a great commentary team. They aren't JBL, Cole, and Lawler.
Right, no, certainly not. Certainly not. But they can learn something from those three guys. That's what I'm saying. How they treated Natalya and Charlotte in that match, how I'm sure they treated matches like Sasha and Bayley at live events and other clinics that apparently have gone on. Because again, the women have really been stepping up. It's crazy, and I love it because this is what we've been waiting for. This movement isn't going to go anywhere until the voice of the whole product gets behind it. I've said so many times, you are what you're booked. Well, I think I only got that half right. Because it's also you are how you're presented. And commentary does that presentation verbally. So start treating them with the respect that they deserve so we can actually fully appreciate the quality of their work output. Seriously. It's ridiculous. So I fully co-sign on your Raw request. And do you have anything else you want to say about this Raw?
No, sir.
All right, neither do I. So with that said, this has been Raw. This has been TwitWow, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans, by wrestling fans, on the web today. I'm John. That's my cohort and commentary, Ashton. Guys, be sure to comment and subscribe on YouTube, discuss on Tweetoff, and we will see you again for our NXT review, as it's a clash of generations, as Mr. Monday Night Rob Van Dam takes on the man that gravity forgot, the NXT Heavyweight Champion, Adrian Neville. See you there, guys.